Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy addressed the UN Security Council in New York for the third time since the start of the conflict. He said Russia's actions against his country also pose a threat to the rest of the world, both militarily and through the increasing food and fuel prices that have been exacerbated by the fighting.
The energy crisis for Europe, the threat of large-scale hunger, the political chaos for African and Asian countries, the price crisis in the whole world. Isn't it too much for a single country whose representative sits among you?
The Secretary-General described the 6-month anniversary as a sad and tragic milestone and said the conflict had led to thousands of civilian deaths and grave violations of human rights laws. Under Secretary-General Rosemary DiCarlo also said the UN is concerned about reports that Russia is planning a so-called international tribunal in Mariupol, saying failure to uphold the legal right to a fair trial for prisoners of war could amount to a war crime. Following the meeting, more than 40 countries joined Ukraine to release a joint statement condemning Russia's military offensive. Moscow's representative at the UN said the food and fuel crisis has been caused by Western sanctions, and that Ukraine is to blame for the suffering of its people after it failed to implement the Minsk agreements aimed at ending fighting in the Donbas region.
In order to establish peace in the Donbas and to prevent the obvious threats to Russia emanating from Ukraine, we had no choice but to launch a special operation to denazify and demilitarize Ukraine, the goals of which are being successfully and steadily fulfilled.
Sarah Walton, CGTN, New York.